PJ Pedras, and this is the Micronesia News Broadcast. Thank you so much for tuning in, and let's start this episode. I want to share with you a brief summary of a recent audit report that was released by the FSM Public Auditor's Office regarding the state of Yap. So, according to their audit report, they discovered that there were 71 projects that were approved for the state of Yap, but only 59 of them were ever implemented from fiscal year 2016 to August 31, 2018. According to the report, and I quote, "We noted that public projects initiated through the Yap Congressional Delegation Office and passed in public laws were not reviewed or coordinated with the Yap State Governor's Office. Yet the Governor and the state are required to implement and manage these projects irrespective of the state's available resources or the priority the state may assign to these projects. We also noted that project costs are not analyzed with enough scrutiny before being enacted into public law, resulting in the authorized appropriation becoming the budgeted amount to spend regardless of how reasonable the amounts are for the projects. With regards to the management of public projects, we found instances where oversight was poor or lacking, contractual and financial regulations were not followed, and record keeping was absent, and program guidelines were not followed. Furthermore, the FSM National and the Yap State governments have little assurance that the congressional funded public projects in Yap were managed to the state's interest and priority, or complement the state's infrastructure or development plans. Both governments can't be confident that the project costs were reasonable or appropriate." And the conclusions that were reached by the Public Auditor's Office were that the Yap Congress Delegation Office, in collaboration with the Yap State Government, have not yet established and implemented processes for reviewing and selecting of projects. And number two, there were cases where disbursements were made for activities that were not related to the public's economic and social development projects. And number three, in some cases, project funds were expended were not in accordance with their intended purposes. Number four, implementation of some of the CFSM public projects was not in accordance with the established laws and regulations, including the Financial Management Act of 1979 and its regulations. Number five, several public projects were not fully implemented in terms of performing their intended purposes. And number six, the Yap State Scholarship Supplemental Project was not complying with its scholarship administration guidelines, existing policies, and procedures. And here are some of the responses from the Yap Congressional Delegation. And we're quoting a letter from Senator Joseph Ursimo. He said, "As discussed in our exit conference on July 24, 2019, which was just earlier this year, our delegation's general practice requires that all requests for congressional grants be submitted in writing to our office, through the Yap State Governor's Office, and or through one of the Council of Traditional Leaders wherein the project or program is community-based. In instances when a requesting community, NGO, special interest group, state government entity, etc., is directed by the state to submit a request directly to our office, or opted to independently, our delegation also requires the requesting entity that courtesy copies of such a request be submitted to the Governor's Office and to the relevant traditional council. We feel this inclusive process with the state and the municipal communities allows for a more coordinated review of priority development projects." And here is the response from the other member of the Yap Congressional Delegation. And I'm not going to quote the whole thing, I'm just going to quote some of it. You can actually see the whole thing if you want to. We're going to link it in the description. So, I'm quoting, "My understanding of what an audit is supposed to is to compare an actual performance to a set standard. My objection is about where you found the set standard that required collaboration with the state government in the selection of projects. The way I see it, the Yap delegation is elected by the people of Yap to respond to their needs. How the delegation does that is up to it. The delegation is 1. Was not selected by the Yap State government, and 2. Is not responsible to the state government for the delegation funded projects. In actuality, there is, as Chairman Ursmal pointed out, a lot of consultation with the state government. However, that is a political decision and not any legal." Here is our take. Roll the clip. "When I look at these reports, I can just take a look outside my window. I can even walk up and down the street from where I live to know that the money that is supposed to be used to run and improve this country is absolutely not being used correctly. Potholes nearly every 5 feet, government offices looking so run down that one would think we live in a post-apocalyptic society. Public schools, man, we just gotta generally improve that. Blackouts occurring on a regular basis, even in downtown Colonia, it just looks so dark. One wouldn't think we were in the main town of the capital island. Broken down government vehicles just sitting in parking lots, trash all over the place, employees going on Facebook on all manner of day while being paid for quote-unquote work. You know damn well I'm talking about you. I see you over there. You're watching this video while you're supposed to be working on those reports. Hi. Anyways, in all seriousness, I know we have a health issue in the country, but do we honestly need another 5 gyms popping up all over the place every single year? How come there's only one telecom service in the whole entire country? Why do we have to pay for the deaths of COM students? Are we really teaching our kids the right things? Yes. Let's just depend on Big Brother to take care of all of our problems, to take care of all of our debts, instead of trying to proactively find solutions for them ourselves. I'm PJ, this is the Micronesia News Broadcast. Thank you so much for tuning in, and until the next one, see you next time.